And I believe we are live on YouTube. Excellent. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to bring in our Win-Win Women audience. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Carrie Donegan, your guide for today's episode of Radical Age Reversal. We are here to help you slow down the aging process, which is a disease, and actually live your absolutely best life. And in conjunction with that, we've introduced the book 30% Happier in 30 Days. Because what's the point of being super physically happy if emotionally you're really struggling? And I love the chapter that we're going to talk about today because it's something that gets thrown around a lot, and I'm not sure that guidance is often given. And Daniel Amen does a remarkable job of walking us through in 6 easy steps how to achieve what he calls his purpose, right? We hear this all the time. There was the purpose-driven life, know your purpose, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor. There were so many things that people kind of throw around, but I'm going to be honest with you. If someone were to say to me, okay, find your purpose, everything will be great, I might be a little hesitant to even know where to begin. What is it that we're supposed to do? So we're going to do this exercise together today, just like we did an exercise last week. Please go back and listen to some of our previous episodes because it's going to help you along this process. Each day is a chapter in this book, so it's very easy to digest, and hopefully you'll get the book and you'll follow along. So today, know your purpose in 6 questions. He said, believing in life matters is essential to happiness. When you know your purpose, you feel more significant, happier, and more connected. A study in the archives of general psychology followed more than 900 people for 7 years to look at the effects of having a sense of purpose, which they defined as the psychological tendency to derive meaning from life's experiences and to possess a sense of intentionality and goal directedness that guides behavior. Okay, that's a lot. Let's break that down. A lot of psych talk there. It is defined, purpose, okay, your purpose of life is defined as the psychological tendency. So, right, so what you believe in your heart to derive meaning from life's experiences and to possess a sense of intentionality. All right. So you're not going through life blindly. You're going through life with a sense of intention and goal directedness. All right. No matter what your strength, no matter what your personality, no matter what your upbringing, we can all have goal directed lives. I think that's really important. And that goal guides your behavior. All right. So to me, there's like 3 parts in this. First, you have to be aware of the fact that a purpose driving you is going to improve your happiness. So you have to be aware of the purpose. Then the second part of that is that you have to note that that purpose has a sense of meaning and that that meaning will come from your experiences, but those experiences only happen by your intentions, right? So experiences are not happening to you. You are actually actively living out all of your choices. All right. Just think about how people live and how people talk about what happened to them. I am sad because this person did this to me, right? Well, I chose sadness because this person did that to me is more intentional. And you can choose whatever path you want, but to be very intentional and understand that there are consequences. So, for example, if there would be a hurricane that would suddenly come through and blast a hole through my window and a piece of glass would cut my face, I didn't intend that. Of course, that action happened to me. If someone at work were to lose their cool and they're screaming at me, I didn't choose that. That happened to me. Your reaction is what you choose, right? Your reaction, your response to every situation. And of course, We're not looking for fake responses. We're not saying that when you get bad news or have bad experiences that you're supposed to jump for joy and be appreciative of that. That would be a whole nother level of evolution, really. I think it takes a really, really special person to see a positive purpose in everything. That's the goal, though. In most religions and most faith practices and a lot of philosophies, the goal is to be able to derive happiness and meaning out of everything, from the most mundane to the most tragic. And so, if you are looking to really up level your spirituality, if you're really looking to up level your life's meaning, that's a great goal. To just say that I can see a benefit in all that happens to me, and that those I can't see, I can believe that the overwhelming force in life is good and love. And because the overwhelming force in life is good and love, that no matter the situation, the outcome is going to be of benefit for me. For those of you who read the Bible, go back and read Job. It's really, really a great story. And I don't want to get off on a tangent, but it's a good place to start when you sometimes get spiraling into the murk of everyday life, which can be really mundane all the way to really tragic. All of those things can be very, very hard to understand and hard to take and hard to process. But trying to find that kernel of goodness in everything, whatever the outcome is, and you're going to see as we move through this, where he shows us how to derive purpose. So, getting back to the study, the researchers found that people who were more purposeful at the start of the study had, ready, greater happiness. So, just, a scale of 1 to 10. How happy are you in a general sense, on average? They had less depression on a scale of 1 to 10. How depressed do you feel? They had more satisfaction on a scale from 1 to 10. Like at the end of the day, when you sit down and you review your day and you examine the person you were in that day, in that moment, I think sometimes, and he's going to get to this in this chapter, we can die at any moment, right? But you might be remembered for your very last day. I mean, just think of that. Like let's say today is your very last day. Would you want to connect with certain people? And how would you want to connect with them? What feelings, emotions, experiences would you want them to remember you by? Right? I mean, because honestly, death is a little bit like grades in life. It's arbitrary. It's that one day, right? You can do really, really good things all through life and have a bad day. And if the people around you are there for that bad day, they may actually take away whatever was given by you to them on that very bad day. So wanting to minimize those very bad days is a really good part of a purpose-driven life, you know. So I might be in a really exciting time in my life, meaning you, right? We could all be like, this could be like the best time of our life, whatever criteria you put on for that. And it can be easy then in those moments to be magnanimous, to be joyful, to be supportive. But what about those days when you're in the opposite stage of life, when you're in a really restricted, difficult, challenging, painful, overwhelming stage of life? Can you be your very best person in those moments too? Can people see beyond your circumstances and see you, to see your character, to see your purpose, to see your happiness, to see other things? That's possible. We know that. That's what we write hero stories about, right? Heroes are the people who overcome adversity with a sense of high character, right? That you don't see the tragedy, you see the hero. You don't see the sadness, you see the triumph All of those things make for the best stories in the world. And don't you want your life to be a great story? And great stories do not require a lot of wealth, right? We know amazing stories about people who've lived incredible lives. Mother Teresa, not a story of wealth, but wow, what a purposeful, driven life. And she was known all over the world, right? Nelson Mandela, all of his years in prison. You might say, well, if someone's in prison, there's no way for them to have a purpose driven life. Oh, that is not true, right? We know several examples of that. But these are how heroes are made. You want your own hero story. That's what a purpose driven life is. It's a hero story. And so, no matter where you are and no matter what you're doing, you can start to write your hero story. They also had better mental health, right? These are people who can bounce back a little easier from times of trial. These are people for whom little things don't end up crushing them. And that can be built over time. It can be learned as a skill and it can be practiced as a choice. So let's keep that in mind. Um, there are people who feel like they're growing personally all the time and that they're learning to accept who they are, their talents, and maybe their trials, and maybe their deficiencies. They get better quality sleep. These are people who close their eyes at night, sleep through the night, they're tired at night, they wake up refreshed in the morning. And they have longevity, which is the basis of this show, right? Radically aging in reverse, radical age reversal. So they have longevity. So this fits right into our mission statement. Okay. Let's skip over. He talks about some other studies that you may want to read in the book, but for time's sake, we're not going to go into those. So anytime I talk to my patients, meaning Daniel Amen, about purpose, I bring up Viktor Frankl, the famed psychiatrist, Holocaust survivor, and author of the remarkable book, Man's Search for Meaning. He said that life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose, and explored three elements of purpose. Purposeful work or being productive. This involves asking yourself questions such as, why is the world a better place? Because I'm here. Or what do I contribute? I want you to write this down. Type it in your phone. Ask yourself every day, why is the world a better place, right? That's what heroes do. They make the world a better place. Why is the world a better place? Because of your existence. What are you contributing? And don't minimize your contributions, right? Smiles are contributions. Large donations are contributions. A honed skill is a contribution, right? You may be really good at your job and people rely on you. That's a contribution. You may be a critical part of a family, a parent, a child. You may be someone who helps another family, like a nanny or a grandparent. You may be someone who serves other people. You're in a service industry, whether that's working in a grocery store, being a doctor, being a civil servant, being a politician. You may defend people like lawyers. There's all kinds of ways that you can create an understanding of your work and of your life as mission driven and contributing to the greater good. This used to be super overquoted, but I don't hear it as much anymore. But the famous John F. Kennedy quote, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. That was when he was launching the Peace Corps, I believe. Loving other people. How much love do you give out every day? I mean, real love, patience, kindness, care. Love is a verb. How much action, how much love and action do you put out in your day? Is it being patient when there's a long line and you're in a hurry? Is it being patient when you're driving and someone is slow or confused, looking for directions? even distracted, right? Can you be patient in moments, even if you are correct in their wrong behavior? Can you be patient in those moments with other humans who are just as challenged and just as fallible as you are? Courage despite difficulty. There are people who give in, there are people who give up, and then there are people who give too. All right. Which one are you? Do you give in to things like, oh, well, whatever happens, happens. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I'm just going along with the flow. Do you give up? Do you say, you know what? I'm out of here. I quit. I'm done. I don't want to be part of this relationship. I don't want to be part of this job. And look, I'm not saying that there are not absolute situations where, after careful and thoughtful consideration and really good counsel, that you may want to remove yourself. But are you one of those people who, at the drop of a hat, quit just because the going gets tough? Those are the get outs, right? You're never going to find those people as heroes, and you're never going to find those people having longevity and purpose in their life. It just doesn't work that way. The mathematics don't work out. And then are you a person who gives to, right? Do you take what you have, whatever it is, and give to another person? Remember, we are not remembered in life by what we retain. We are remembered in life by what we give, because anything that comes into us, no one's going to know, just you, right? If I sit down and I eat an apple, okay, great. I'm feeding my body. I'm staying healthy. I let the pectin. It's good for my digestion. It's great for my stomach. And all of that's really, really good. But it's not really affecting the rest of the world, except for the fact for I'm staying healthy and I have an opportunity to be contributing in a more greater way. But if I give to someone, if I take that apple and I cut it in half and I give it to a friend and I say, hey, you want some apple? And they're really hungry and they just like, wow, that was great. I really could use a snack. That's making a lasting impression on another person who may be in a better mood because of your action, and then do something like paying it forward in the future or in that moment, where they wouldn't have done it if you had not acted upon that gift of giving to. So ask yourself in situations, are you giving up? Are you giving in? Are you giving to? Those are really good questions. Those are my questions, by the way. That's not going to be in the book, but I feel like it's something that Dr. Daniel Amen would talk to and speak about. Do you bear whatever challenges you have and help other people with theirs? You know, they say God doesn't give us anything that he doesn't give us the strength to deal with. So wait for the strength, when you feel like the burden is heavy, it'll come. It will definitely come. It comes in weird ways. It can come in internal strength, or it can come in the form of external help. So just, wait for it, pray for it, look for it. It's going to be there. All right. So here's our 6 questions. Ready? Look inward. What do you love to do? Examples include writing, cooking, design, parenting, creating, speaking, teaching, and so on. What do you feel qualified to teach others about? All right, we're going to just take a few seconds now, and I want you to write down 2 or 3 things that you feel qualified to teach others about. If I had a pencil, I would do this too, and I do. Okay. Sometimes I like to do this with you because I practice what I preach, but also it gives me an understanding of how much time you need. Okay. Number 2, look outward. Who do you do it for? How does your work connect you to others? Who do you do it for? So you're going to write down a couple of people, actual people. If colleagues at work would be a whole group, that's fine too. Okay. Number 3, look back. Are there hurts from your past that you can turn into help for others? Are there hurts from your past that you can turn into help for others? Look beyond yourself. What do others want or need from you? What do others want or need from you? Look for transformation. How do others change as a result of what you do? And now the last one, look to the end. Psychiatrist Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, author of the well-known book on death and dying, said, "It is the denial of death that is partially responsible for people living empty, purposeless lives. For when you live as if you'll live forever, it becomes too easy to postpone the things you know that you must do. Ask yourself, does this worry, problem, or moment have eternal value? When I die, how do I want to be remembered?" Now, that's a big question. And one of the things that I would recommend, if you've never done this before, is write your own obituary. I know it sounds gruesome and a little bit strange, but what do you want to be remembered for? What have you left behind? What do you want to leave forward? If today were your last day, how would you want people to see you? So ask yourself that. I'm going to leave that question a little open ended where our time has run out, and that one will take you some time. But carve out the time. I think you could do it in 20 or 30 minutes. I don't think you have to take hours. But find that time, a time when you're alert. If you're a morning person, maybe wake up one morning and bring it to your prayer time or start your day with it. We always talk about silence and meditation in the morning, how important that is. Or if you're a night person and you have energy and reflection and ideas and your heart is enlivened at night, then take the time to sit down and do this at night. Like I said, it's not going to take very long. And it'll be good for you to kind of review it over time and see how it evolves. I think it's a good exercise. And then he ends and says, notice that only 2 of the 6 questions are about you. 4 of them are about others. A wise Chinese saying is, if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. And if you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help somebody else. Happiness is often found in helping others. All right. We're all the way to chapter 11. You guys are doing great. Thank you for sticking with us. Hopefully, this is helping you along your journey, and I will see you next time.